Welcome to I Give Myself a Flower session number 18. Today the topic is sound of silence. And I looked into features of sound waves because I was thinking, how can we actually find out what is the difference between hearing and then interpretation? And for this I have a question. What is it that you're seeing? And one might look, and the first thing that comes to mind is a banana, right? Yellow banana. And if you look a bit closer, it might be a cut banana, because it's only halfway and I cut it yesterday. I left it in the fridge overnight and this is how it looks like. And then you look at it again. And if I ask you again, what are you seeing? You might say, hey, you see Thy-Diep holding up a banana. And then I'd ask you again, what are you seeing? You might say, you see a hand holding a yellowish something. What is it that you're seeing? And you might answer, yellow, black stuff on it. In some kind of a shape, it's round and it's pointed at the bottom. And we could go on and on and on and on. So we would deconstruct the seeing. We would go from banana into tinier and tinier and more fine ways of looking at things, like a surgeon who would deconstruct a piece of skin and go deeper. We will use today our meditation experience to deconstruct and go deeper into the experience of sound and what is actually silence to us. So what we're doing is we use the body. We use the body as a way to experience very basic functionalities of sound waves. And I just picked 3 out of many more, so that we can have a little bit of a practice but don't overload ourselves with information. So in terms of sound, what is a very low sound? What is a very high pitch, fast sound? We will use our body breathing to go towards understanding that, embodying the experience of sound. And then we will look into our intensity of sounds. So that is like the volume of sound. How strong or intense does the sound to you? And then we will also look into the steadiness of the sound experience. If you were to think that sound changes in between little fixed intervals. Yeah, let's say 5 seconds and the next 5 seconds and then the third 5 seconds, you compare them with each other. How has sound in between changed for you? Is it changing a lot? Is the rhythm, the frequency changing? Is the intensity changing? And we will also look into the resonance of the sound, and in our case for the practice we will look into the resonance as in we hear something and our body resonates with it, and with our body we also look at the emotions and the associations our body hosts within that sound experience. So these 4 little things we look at and we just observe what is happening. And as a warm-up to going into the meditation and practicing our skill of hearing, just as hearing and not as hearing as interpretation. Yeah, because in between the sound wave and the understanding that this is some sound and our reaction to it, it's like the banana. In effect, this is just some shapes and shadows and colors, but our brain knows it's a banana because we've seen it a thousand times. But in between, there's a process of translation. And what we try to do is, with mindfulness, to look into these translation processes and see whether or how it functions inside us, and whether we are maybe sometimes putting too much emphasis on certain things and thereby creating our own distortions of what is just an object or what is just a sound wave, some impulse or some signals to our body. To find a comfortable position to sit, and that comfortable position would feel like a sweet spot, a place between alertness and relaxation. And then you guide your attention towards your breathing. How does your body change when you breathe in? And how does your body change when you breathe out? Feel the connection between the floor and your feet or any other part that's touching the floor. How does the connection change when you breathe in? And what happens to that sense of connection when you breathe out? Can you bring in a little bit more of alertness into your posture? Can you bring in a little bit more relaxation in your posture? More tenderness to the present moment? And then guide your attention towards anything, any sounds that triggers your attention. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Give it a name and then let go. And while you're sitting, stable as a mountain, majestic as a king or a queen, and generous, caring as a warm grandmother, grandfather, you will invite more sounds to join the experience. Bring attention to the thoughts that arise together with the sounds. Bring awareness towards your body reaction to these sound impulses that you hear. Bring awareness to the sensations that you feel and experience in relationship to any sound that enters your awareness. Bring awareness towards any emotions that arise. Bring awareness towards any visual objects that arise. Could be images, it could be colors, patterns. Bring awareness to anything that wants to be heard in this very present moment. And we start with our second cycle. Invite all the sounds that want to be part of the present moment. If you hear any distracting noise, give it a name And then let it go. Pay attention towards any mental chatter that may or may not arise in relationship to sound. Give it a name and let it go. Bring awareness to any body reactions to sound. Bring awareness to any sensations that emerge in relation to sound. Bring awareness to any emotions that arise in relation to the coming and going of sound. bring awareness to any visual objects that arise. The moment you hear a sound. Direct attention towards anything that wants to be heard in this very present moment. Invite silence into your experience and listen to the sound of silence. How does it want to express itself in this very present moment? Guide your attention towards your toes. Sense into your big toe and your small toe. Sense into your lower legs, your knees, your upper legs. Feel into the rising and falling of your abdomen. Bring kind attention towards your chest, your back, shoulders, neck, back of the head, top of the head, your 2 ears, eyes, nose, your jaws, your lips, and try to listen with your entire body. How does it feel like when I listen to the present moment? Not only with my ears, but with my entire body. How do I need to change my posture to be able to do that? Then find a way to grow your spine. Move your shoulders, little circles. And open your eyes. It's time for our journaling exercise now. That is, you have pen and paper, and I have some prompts for you. And this week we only have 2 prompts. The first one is, what do you associate with silence? And the second is, how does silence sound to you? And for this journaling exercise, we will write free flow. We will try not to stop the writing by thinking about it, but just by letting it flow like a river out of our body into the hand and into pen and paper. We have 3 minutes to do so.